Hi guys, welcome to Pro Strings and to day 17 of the Learn to Play the Violin in 30 Days course. I'm Henriette and today we will be learning a new scale and also Andantino on page 35 in Suzuki book 1. As always, I will play you the tuning notes first. So here is your A. Now we will start warming up with something familiar, the D major scale. Let's just take a moment to review your stance, your bow hold, your violin hold. And when you've got that all sorted, here we go, and we'll use long bows if you can. We'll play each note of the scale twice. Next, we will play the D arpeggio. And when we play the D arpeggio, I want you to stretch your bow arm forward as much as you can to keep the bow parallel to the bridge. Here we go. 1 and... Next, we're going to learn a G scale today, and this scale is almost exactly the same as D major. The only difference is that you start on the G string and you carry on the D string halfway. So I'll count us in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's have a go at the G arpeggio as well. And you may know this one too because you know the D arpeggio. But if you need the notes to help you, you can find these on page 36 in Suzuki book 1 next to letter A. Be aware that we will only play the first 4 notes of this G arpeggio in your book. So please check out the book with me now. So it is just the first 4 notes that we will be playing, and you can find the notes of the G arpeggio here on page 36 as letter A, and we're playing these 4 notes here, and then we'll go back as well. So the notes are G, B, which is 2 fingers on G, then a D string, and then 3 fingers on D, and then afterwards we'll play an open D again, and 2 on G and G. So here we go, we'll play the arpeggio twice. Well done, and we have played this G major scale and arpeggio to prepare for what is to come in the next lesson in day 18. Today we are also learning Andantino on page 35, and I will play it for you now. So in this piece we will be starting with the 2nd finger on the D string. Can you play the first line with me? I'll count us in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, take a look at the 2nd line. You will see that the first 2 bars are the same as the first 2 bars of line 1. The second half of the 2nd line is very similar to the second half of line 1 too, except here you will need to place your 3rd finger on 2 strings, A and D. I have written a little diamond shape in my book to indicate this, and I will show you that. So if you have a look at the 2nd line here, you have got the 3rd finger on the A string, followed by the 3rd finger on the D string, and I have written my little diamond shape here so that you can place your 3rd finger on both the A and D strings together, and you place your finger in between the 2 strings, and I'll show you in a moment. Here at line 4 the same thing occurs, so your 3rd finger places in between the A string and the D string, so you catch them both, and I've written a little diamond shape there too. So my 3rd finger, I place my 3rd finger in between the A and D strings so that I catch them both, and I hope you can see it like that. Okay, now let's see if I can hit them both when my finger is there. That Now it may need a little bit of wriggling like that before it works, but you can have a go at that because it's a good technique to have. So now I'll practice the last 2 bars of line 2, and we're going to try and place that third finger in between the A and D strings. And here you can see I have placed my finger in between the 2 strings. And I'll show you again. So what I'm not doing is this. That I lifted my finger off and then placed it on the D string. That means that you will always have a gap between the third finger on the A and the third finger on the D string, and that's what we try to avoid. I'll do it one more time for you. Now let's take a look at line 3. I'll play it for you, and in the second half of the line I'm going to play a 4th finger on the A string and a 4th finger on the D string. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you may have noticed that I was using the whole bow for each of the crotchets, and that then leaves me with a whole bow for the minims as well, but my bow goes at half the speed. So let's play line 3 once again, and you can join in with me. Next, let's play the last line. And remember the diamond shape that you wrote in there. Don't forget to place your third finger on both the D and the A strings at the end. So we're playing line 4. Here we go after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well done. Now before we put the whole song together, let's take a look at the performance directions in this piece. We start off mezzo forte at the beginning of this piece, and then we'll add a small accent on the E in the middle of line 1. An accent should always be within the dynamic that you are playing, so this is just a very gentle accent here. Then in line 3 the music gets to forte, and forte, as we've seen, means loud. And at the end of line 3 we will be getting a bit quieter, and we will also slow down. So you have a ritenuto, a poco ritenuto, it says there. Poco means a little, so slow it down a little, and you also get a little bit quieter. And then in the last line, over the top of the notes, it says a tempo. And that means that you pick up the original pace again from the beginning, as opposed to the slowing down that you've just done at the end of line 3. And then we're going mezzo forte again, so a little bit quieter than line 3, same as the beginning. Now before we play it again, I'd like to think a little bit more about playing louds and softs. First, when you want to play louder, you use more bow. And when the music is quieter, you use less bow. So what we have been doing, using whole bows and half bows, is maybe just half the story. Your half bows can be much longer if you want to get your playing a little bit louder. The second way we can make a distinction between loud and soft playing is by playing closer to the bridge for the music to become a little bit louder, and further away from the bridge to make the music a little bit quieter. And then there is a third way, which is almost automatic when you apply the two first and second ways of playing loud and soft. The third way is that you press a little bit harder on the bow to play louder, and you press a little bit less to play a bit softer. You can imagine if you use longer bows, you will automatically, in order to control that bow, press a little bit harder. I'll show you this now. So first I'm going to play some open D strings. First I'm going to play fairly short bows, and then gradually I'm going to make my bows a little bit longer, and you can perhaps hear that the music will get louder. Can you hear that? And now I'm going to apply my second way, closer to the bridge or further away from the bridge. So I'm not changing the bow speed or the bow length at all. I'm just going to move the contact point. So here we go again with my open Ds. Perhaps hear that the sound loses its intensity a little bit. Now, if I'm pressing a little bit harder and I'm putting it all together, you can hear that there's very much difference. So now I'm going to start with long bows close to the bridge. I hope you heard a big difference between the first couple of notes when I was playing very loud and the last couple of notes where I was going softer and softer. Now when you add louds and softs to your music, you should always exaggerate that and do more than what you want to do. So as the player, you hear the dynamic changes because you want to hear them, because you see them written in the music and you're trying your hardest to do it. But as a musician, you will need to make the listener hear these differences as well. So you will need to make your differences in loud and soft playing much more obvious than what you would otherwise do. So therefore, when it says in the music that you need to play mezzo forte, I am going to play those sections piano, soft. And where my music tells me to play forte, which means loud, I am going to try and play the music as loud as I possibly can. So finally, let's play our Andantino with the exaggerated dynamic, shall we? We will also try to make the most of the pause and the ritenuto and the tempo changes. So I'll count us in for 4. We will still stay at the slower pace, but exaggerate the dynamics. Here we go. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. that piece because it is very still and calming. So I hope you have enjoyed this practice, and I certainly have. And you have given it your best shot today, and you should be proud of what you have achieved. If you feel you have made progress, please like this video and share it with your friends. If you have not, please tell me why in the comments section below. I am already looking forward to day 18, where we will be learning a new finger pattern and also the etude on page 37 of the book. So happy practicing and goodbye.